From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP, 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it and that another could. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro, lights, camera, action. Action, action, action. Let's go. BP. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain.
Hey, hello everybody, and happy Thursday night. It is the 31st of August, the last day of August 2023. I cannot believe we are into September tomorrow. And I know it seems like every week when we're in here talking, I'm always like, hey, can you believe how fast the year's going? But you know what? It still surprises me. Hey, guys, thanks for being here. You have tuned in to The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood. And tonight we're going to have some fun. And maybe it's just because we'll be announcing something a little bit that we had cooking here for a little bit, our annual release of a certain shirt. And just because it's my chapter, I'm of course stoked about it. It's a process, it's a process you go through when you're trying to design new merch and stuff. And I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But hey, thanks so much for being here tonight. This is episode 190, 10 more away from, we did this epic show. Well, I said epic. It wasn't so much epic as it was epically long, super long. I mean, like fall asleep. I almost, it was a long show. We're not going to be doing that again for episode 200, but episode 100, we said, it's going to be this awesome epic. And it was for some things we had a special patch for the show, and we had to, and we had several guests, and we had, I had Mr. Fred Von Knox on the show, and 100 episodes. 90 episodes ago. Think about how long that is. That's 90 weeks. Actually, it's a little bit more than 90 weeks because I think we had a couple weeks off over the course of the 90 weeks. But man, we're coming up on 200. So very, very excited. And one of the things, that I love to talk about, obviously, here is our different events that come up, and talk to brothers about why they chose this event and why they're doing certain events. And tonight we get to talk to Buddy, Mr. Buddy. He's Buddy. Some people fit their name and some people fit their name. It's Buddy. We're going to be talking with Buddy from Chattanooga about a really cool event. And it's the first time we've had to talk about it here. Some of these events we've brought up in here are annual events, and we talk about them, it seems like old hat to be bringing them back up again every year, but year to year things change. And this is going to be a new one. This is a first, got a beard hair on my microphone. This is the first time we've talked about BEARD-A-NOOGA, which of course is in Chattanooga this weekend. So I'll be bringing him on for an interview that I had with him. We recorded an interview a couple days ago just because I wasn't sure time-wise if we could make it work. So I wanted to get him on. And talk about some stuff. So we're going to do that in just a few minutes. I am also going to be releasing the much anticipated, I guess that's saying a lot. That's probably presumptuous. The much anticipated by us, the Northern Indiana guys, much anticipated release of our annual Ezra Crow World Tour t-shirt. And for those of you who don't know it, it's just an annual shirt we do in concert t-shirt fashion. And I'll talk about that here again in just a few minutes before we release that. But if you're here just tuning in for that, you'll have to wait just a few more minutes because I want to make sure that the important part of the night, obviously, the truly important part of the night is talking about BEARD-A-NOOGA. And so we're gonna do all that stuff first. But hey, we're just a few minutes into this episode 190, and again, this I said in the comments section as we started off the night, that before when we started rolling on the live stream, I said we're back on Facebook again tonight, and as it was pretty funny as I was talking in the chat, as I was chatting and saying, yeah, we're back multi-streaming on YouTube and Facebook again. And I made the comment that I'm not sure why, because the last time we did it on Facebook, nobody really watched it. As sure as I pushed return on that, enter, uh, we had a brother chime in and say, "Hey, how you doing?" And he's watching us from Facebook. So, and I see we have a few others here watching us on Facebook too. So glad that we can give that resource out. And there's a lot of people that choose not to use. They don't like YouTube for a variety of reasons. And so it's nice that we have different streaming platforms, and some people have access to Facebook in different ways than they do YouTube, and vice versa. So it's good to have options. It's good to have options, and I want to give you options in ways that you can consume this content, as they say, right? Consume this content. But you know what I'll do next? I want to give big shout outs to everybody that is here live with us, enjoying the show and chatting in with us. If you are here live right now watching and I don't know you're here, it's because you're not commenting, and you don't necessarily have to. It's always fun to get thumbs up and hearts and all that fun stuff, just to let me know you're watching, let me know you're enjoying the content and all that stuff. I don't know what it's going to do for algorithms and everything like that. I'm not somebody whose show is watched by thousands and thousands of people, so it's probably not going to do a whole lot for that. But hey, that's not why we're here. That's not why I've been here for 190 episodes. We're just here for fun, and a lot of times I get more out of it than anybody watching. So that's how we're going to do it. If you'll notice early on, I noticed a little wrinkle, and I'm gonna have to try and figure this part out. But since I'm multi-streaming to both Facebook and YouTube, every time I would post a comment in the comment section live, it was posting it twice. Or at least I saw it twice. I don't know if everybody else saw it twice, but I saw it twice, and that's really annoying. So I'm going to try to refrain from doing that, or figure out what that was causing that. But hey, let's give a shout out. Some of these people come in here. Some of our bros come in here early before we go live to start a chat up. And Ed Deering was one of them. Ed says he must have thought I was running a little slow getting things started up, but he says he must be getting a cocktail. He says, "Good evening, gentlemen." JD, how you doing? He says, "Drink it up." Good to see you here. Mars says, "Yes, let's go." Close to 200. Yes, we are. We're getting there. Mr. Jack, Leatherworks is here with us as well tonight. Thank you for being here. How you doing? It's a good thing to be here on a Thursday night, right? Our first Facebook gentleman coming back in. Mondo, how you doing? Good to see you here from Swampside. He says, hello, hello. Mr. Dahlstrom from my chapter is back in here. Hey, how you doing, Brian? Good to see you. Get to see a bunch of my bros this weekend for our one of our mandatory chapter meetings, where we're going to talk some business and see what's what, get some things squared away. My co-cap Ed, how you doing? Good to see you here as well. And Puzzle Man, he's always just kind of creeping, right? Creeping from the back with his eyeballs poking out. Yeah. Not sure if Radar is going to be tuning in tonight, but happy birthday to Radar, as Puzzle Man says here. Not sure if he's going to be tuning in, but definitely happy birthday. Buddy's hanging out with us here. We're going to hear from Buddy firsthand in just a few minutes. Good to see you here also. Tyler is here. He's also on Facebook. Good to see you. Here from South Texas. All right. Good to see you. Hopefully you're staying cool down there. Donnie's in the house as well. He's out traveling around, doing his thing for work. I don't know if Donnie, are you home tonight, or are you just there? Paula says she's watching. Ed, thank you very much. Mr. Harden, how you doing, buddy? SIV is in the house. We're going to be talking to somebody from SIV next week, because next weekend we're going to be going down to Evansville, Indiana for Battle of the Beards. Another one of those awesome events I've been to, every single one of them, back before they were even SIV, back when we were just still BVIN in one chapter. So Puzzle Man says, yes, I'm always creeping. Uh, all right, guys. Well, hey, real quick, I wanted to just to kind of mix things up a little bit. Um, I wanted to just remind everybody to go out before we get into our interview with Buddy. Just remember, if you're looking for any kind of events, beard related or otherwise, specifically beard related, um, head over, get online to the place called the Beard Calendar, and it's just thebeardcalendar.com, I believe, beardcalendar.com. And these guys have organized this awesome calendar that you can click on, scroll through. It has BV events in there. It has non-BV events that are other beard clubs that might be local in your area. As I've been preaching for the last several months, I want our Bearded Villain chapters to get out there in the communities and do some other good and help out some of these other beard and mustache clubs that are doing the same thing that we are. Now, I understand we're a much bigger club, and we have chapters all around the world that we're trying to. And sometimes, as I've said before, some of our time is taken by making choices to go visit our Bearded Villain clubs instead. But you'd be surprised if every so often you check this beard calendar and you may find that there's an event or two within a couple hours drive of you on a Saturday, and you might just be able to represent yourself, represent your chapter, represent Bearded Villains, and go out and have a little bit of fun and meet some other people doing pretty much the same things. And it's always really rewarding to do that. I know we were able to go down a couple weeks back into Columbus, Indiana, and go to an awesome event put on by the Beard Mob Indiana. So I want to encourage all you guys to do that. Get out there, check out the beardcalendar.com for that information. Also, real quick, before we go to Buddy for our interview, I want to just give you a shout out, give a little quick shout out on some of these events that are coming up. Usually I do this in the latter half of the show, but like I told you, we're going to mix things up. Got to keep you guys on your toes, because a lot of times after business of the show comes up, the interviews or whatever else, everybody just kind of, you see the numbers, they just dwindle, they disappear, people check out. And so I want to make sure that every once in a while we shake things up so you guys can hear about what events are coming up, at least in the Bearded Villain world for sure. This weekend, we're going to be talking just a few minutes with Buddy about BEARD-A-NOOGA. BEARD-A-NOOGA is an event that was started before all these BV chapters came together to help out with it. But it's really cool that we've got 5 different chapters coming together for this event. And of course, we're talking about Rocket City. We're talking about 3-Star, Chattanooga, Smoky Mountain, and North Georgia. 5 chapters coming together for an awesome event. We're going to talk about that, like I said, in just a few minutes. Also, don't forget about the Battleborn Beard Competition, Battleborn Killer Beard Competition 2. It is September 16th. So that's, by my math, 2 weekends away? 2 weekends away, if I'm doing correct math. Battleborn Killer Beard Competition 2, hosted by the Bearded Villains of PA East. Very cool times over there. And then we've got ECM, if you're available. ECM, East Coast Meet, hosted by Queen City this year. It is in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's on Friday the 13th and Saturday the 14th of October. October 13th to 14th in Charlotte. Queen City is your host. If you have any questions about that, hit up the Queen City guys. Then we've got All Villains Eve, October 21st. It's the first of a few different events that are going on in October. All Villains Eve, on October 21st, rather. All Villains Eve at Desert Wind Harley Davidson. This is, again, a partnership that they do at a Harley Davidson dealership, just like BEARD-A-NOOGA is going to be doing this weekend. I love it when we do it at the Harley stuff, right? Saturday, October 21st, they got raffles, costume contest, face painting, and more. And more includes a professional wrestling event. How cool is that? I say it every week. How cool is that? A professional wrestling event. All Villains Eve, October 21st. Then the next thing we got is our event here in Northern Indiana, October 21st. It's the return of Ezra Crow. Return of Ezra Crow. That's our annual Halloween costume contest, beard competition, and this year adding tattoo contest to the mix because, hey, the creepy stuff, right? It's Halloween time. We're going to do it. Raising money for the Ronald McDonald Houses, Northern Indiana. We also take in snack foods, individually wrapped snack foods that we give to them for their snack carts in their pantry year-round. So the kids and the families that are stuck there during Halloween time don't get to go trick-or-treating and everything like that. So they do stuff for them there, and it's always nice for us to be able to include that. So that's something we're doing. And now I will say that I am aware that there's another event going on that same day in the South, and I just don't have the information on it. It came across my feed, but nobody sent me anything on that, so I'll have to do a little research this week to try and find that one for sure. All right, hey, I got to take a quick second out and give a big shout out to David. He says, "Good day from Western Australia." Man, it is a different hour altogether over there. Good to see you, David. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing really well down there. Okay, so let's just get into it now. My interview guest this week, I'm going to talk. I think I interview him in here. I mean, I think I introduced him in here. But we're going to be talking with Buddy. Some things have changed since we last spoke with Buddy and the Chattanooga boys. So they've had a little bit of change in leadership. They've had some changing times, and they've got a really cool event coming up this week. So let's talk a little bit. Hey, let's bring in Buddy, my interview with Buddy. Please welcome and enjoy. Okay, I have a special guest this week. He's here to talk about a very cool event, and I'm just learning today about the incredible solemn nature, but also very important nature of this event, what it's become for this weekend. And it's an event that's hosted by, but also put on by multiple chapters of Bearded Villains, it looks like. Here today to talk to us about Beard-A-NOOGA is Buddy. Buddy, how you doing?
Hey.
Good to see you again, man.
Good to see you.
It seems like every year it's like hit and miss whether I get to see you in person or I'm stuck doing interviews with you on this stuff. But looks like this year I'll be at least to be able to see you at least once more this year. Sounds like in October, right?
I'll be there in October. I already got my room booked.
All right, sounds good. Well, you guys have had it's been one of those years for you guys. It's like, just when you think calm waters are ahead, all sorts of stuff happens, and so give us a little bit of an update about how things have been going with you and with Chattanooga.
Oh, I'm doing good. Just had a shoulder surgery, so I'm favoring it a little bit. The chapter has come back to life. Chuck's a fantastic captain. We've got people spread out now to where everybody's working towards doing what we originally wanted to do, which was be known within our community. Yeah. I'm excited about it. Very cool.
Very cool. And you just were recently chosen, suckered into, whatever you want to call it, to one of the captain spots there for the chapter. So, hey, sometimes it's one of those things where it's not something you were hoping for, but it's got to feel good that you have the backing of your chapter guys saying, "Hey, we trust you, buddy."
It does. That's the only reason I'm there is because of those guys. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's, without further ado, let's just get into it. What can you tell us about, we've got this event coming up here. Let me bring it up on the screen here. If I can, I got to flip back to another screen here first. I'm going to flip back to my solo screen here. Well, look at this. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Beard-A-NOOGA. Saturday, September 2nd. It's at White Lightning Harley-Davidson. This is a really, really cool event, and I've been talking about it for a few weeks now, that you guys are partnering up with a few different chapters here, and it's kind of because of that, it's a little bit of a one-of-a-kind situation, wouldn't you say?
Well, hoping that's what it is. We've got Rocket City, North Georgia, Tennessee, Smoky Mountain, and Chattanooga. I believe that's all of them.
Is 3-Star involved in that too?
They are.
Okay. All right. So there's the 5. Yeah. 5 chapters coming together to put this thing on. And I know you were telling me a little bit off the air about what the kind of how this thing started into what it's evolved into today. But can you just give us a little bit of background about what Beard-A-NOOGA is and how it's going to be different but very, very special for this year?
Okay. Beard-A-NOOGA started back in 2017, I believe. Matt Patty, who owns a barbershop, and Chattanooga Beard Products wanted to have an event in Chattanooga for beards. So at the time, it was Smoky Mountain teamed up with them, and they put on a pretty good event. Well, COVID and everything happened after that, so he sort of put it off on the back burner for a while. Then this year we were approached and wanted to know if we'd be interested in doing it again. We reached out to other chapters, got their approval and their guarantee they'd work with us. So that's where we're at. We're hoping it'll be a yearly event from here on.
Yeah. What's that? I mean, now let's just take it from a logistical side of things too, because it's going to be held in Chattanooga. But what's that like for you, especially now as a new captain, trying to help organize this thing between you and 4 other BV chapters to try and logistically make this thing work? Figure out, are you guys kind of taking the reins with things, or are you partnering up? I mean, is it a legitimate partnership with these other 4 chapters that says, we're all going to divvy up the duties here?
We are doing the primary stuff down here. They've helped us out with advertising. They're bringing things down for auctions or raffle items, questions that I needed answers to. Somebody out of one of those chapters have stepped up and helped me. So, and it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because there's some good captains out there, and I'm just getting started, so I need people to help me out.
Yeah, I totally understand where that comes from too, that need. But it's thankfully for you being involved, for years with Smoky Mountain and some really, really good, well-run beard competitions and events there. I know you were kind of a figure point for some of those events as well. So that's got to kind of help you out a little bit in preparation for this event too, just to kind of take what you've learned in the past and then push it forward for Chattanooga.
Yeah, it does. I mean, this is just like any other event when you actually look at it. It's just on a larger scale, and it was put together a little bit quicker than what I would have. I'd like to have a little more time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's coming together really nice. We've got some neat things going on. We're going to have a chair that you can sit in and get your picture taken. It's made out of propane torches.
Oh, cool.
So when you sit in it, you can actually ignite it, and there'll be flames that come all up around you. So it's really cool.
What is that? Is that just something that's a prop for pictures, or is that something that somebody's going to sell?
No, it's there's a guy in Chattanooga that actually built it, and he takes it down to other events.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I can't wait to see photos of that. That's worth the price of admission right there. That sounds pretty awesome.
It's neat. I mean, it's really nice. We've got Smash Brothers food trucks, Coca-Cola trailer that we'll be selling street tacos out of, along with Coke, water, and Powerade. For those that want alcohol, we will be giving beer away.
What? I heard about this. I saw this in chat. We got to clear. Now, I know there's a reason behind that, but just the fact that giving away, and I know there's the little quotes around that within reason, but giving away, how's that coming about?
Well, Harley-Davidson wanted to do more than what they've already done, and they've done a lot. But not being able to sell beer, Harley-Davidson stepped up and said, well, look, we're going to give you guys beer, and then we're just going to give it away.
Wow.
So,
hey, that's crazy. That's crazy. But, I mean, hey, way to step up, Harley.
That's a lot of beer, and they said not to worry about it. So
yeah, did you tell them, like, hey, you might be committing to something here that you don't know the full veracity of what our guys are going to show up and want?
Well, that's it. I mean, they've got our guys. There's supposed to be a couple other beard clubs show up, and then there should be a lot of civilians outside of beard clubs, because advertising in this area has been on 2 different news channels, a talk show, and 3 different beard podcasts so far. So,
Oh my
I mean,
gosh, you guys have been killing it.
push that.
Wow, that's amazing that you'd get that much. I mean, that's some really great PR for this event. That speaks very highly for what. I mean, you guys have to cross your fingers and hope that it's you're just gonna ready to roll, man. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Our ECM for the event is the same gentleman we used at our 1-year event. He is a talk show radio personality in the afternoons on the biggest radio station in Chattanooga. It's US 101.
Wow.
But he's donating his time to come out and MC it for us. He did a great job last time. So I guess that's about it.
Man, I'm excited for you guys.
We'll
This
have
is
live music.
live music too.
We've got live music. It'll be an acoustical. There's a guy that's going to play music for us. That's it. And we'll be able to move inside and outside of the showroom. Harley Davidson is moving all their bikes so that when you get too hot, you can step in and cool down.
Wow.
And then there's a big tent if you want to sit down and eat or sit there and drink. So, yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
The only thing missing is them, saying, "Here's a Harley Davidson for you," or free rides or something like that. Of course, if you're giving away beer, you don't want to do free rides on a bike. So,
well, maybe next year we can talk them out of a bike or something for donation.
can you imagine? Can you imagine? It's probably better off for them just to do what they're doing and just give out a bunch of beers and everything else, but because that markup on those bikes could probably be pretty good.
It never hurts to ask.
No,
That's
what I've learned too. You never know.
All they do is say no.
Yeah, you. The one thing for sure is you're always going to get a no if you never ask. So you got to give them a chance to say yes. Got to give them a chance to say yes. Well, I know you were telling me a little bit about where the proceeds for this thing are going to, and this year it's different. It kind of hits home in a little different way than what it was in the past. So, can you talk for a minute about what's happened in the last few months, and then how that's transitioned and changed, where the proceeds are going?
Okay. Originally, this all started because there was a family that had a very young baby, like infant size, and she had a disease. I believe it's EIEE, epilepsy. Extremely dangerous, very rare. But we put this on for her to help with her medical bills and everything. Right after we got the events up and running and got it started going, she passed on. So the money's still going to her, but it's going to be used for help with her funeral expenses and medical bills. This was an extremely young family, so they really need the help. The Epilepsy Foundation is still on with us. They're supporting us and supporting them.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's a sad story, but there'll be a lot of good come out of it.
Yeah. That kind of changes things for you a little bit. I mean, you're raising money and you think, I mean, obviously it's still going, to a great cause, but knowing that it's not going to directly assist her in a better life, that it's going to help a grieving family, it takes a different turn, man. And it means something completely different now than it was going to. But I'm glad that you guys are having such, with the promotion that you have, with all the people that you're planning on that look like they're going to be going there, with all the support you have from the different chapters. I can only imagine how big this thing's going to be, and especially to try and make it an annual thing again, like you want to do.
I'm hoping. I mean, it's getting close. We'll see in a couple more days. I've learned one thing through all these that I've done is no matter how much we prep, you can't do nothing about what's going to happen the day of the event.
No.
So
yeah. Long about Friday is when you just kind of gotta put your hands up and go, it's going to be what it's going to be. You can't stress yourself out any further. And just, that's when you just have to turn your head and just say, I'm going to have fun, and we're going to run this thing the best we can and do what we got to do for it.
I wanted to touch on a few things.
Yep.
We've got a really neat trophy system or gift, whatever you want to call it. We've actually had the knife shop in Chattanooga donated knives for all the winners, but they also engraved them with BEARD-A-NOOGA on it.
No way.
We have a Damascus axe that's going to Best in Show, and it's also been engraved.
Wow. How cool is that? I don't suppose you have any of those handy to show us, do you?
No, I don't.
That's okay.
I've got a picture of them. I'll send to you.
Okay.
After this interview.
Yeah, and then if you're okay with it, I can show it up on the screen when we're during the show, and everybody can see it. Man, that's pretty impressive that somebody's willing to donate that, and because that takes some work. That takes some work to do.
We've got. I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail.
Okay.
But we've got 2 very costly items that people are really going to want to look at. But I don't want to say any more than that because I'd rather wait and see them when they look at it.
Okay. All right. So these are high-end items for raffle or auction is what you're talking about?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to see people's pictures and faces when that happens, for sure. I understand the need for keeping it quiet because you want to see all the faces and the oohs and ahs when they get there. So I completely get that.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be a good time. We've got a fair amount of raffle items right now, and I know the other chapters will be bringing some stuff in, so we should have plenty to keep everybody wanting something.
Yeah. What's the weather supposed to be like for you?
Beautiful.
Good.
Slightly cloudy. Last I checked, about 89 degrees. So with the humidity being down, it'll be good.
Yeah. Plus you get to go inside, outside. You got food. I mean, it sounds like it's one of these events where you're not going to want for anything. You're not going to be bored. They got live music. Hey, it's at a Harley-Davidson dealership, so you got bikes to look at too. At the worst case scenario, you got bikes to look at. But then you've got the beard comp going on. You got food trucks. You got all sorts of other things going on there. So sounds like it's going to be an awesome event for you.
Yeah, I think everybody will be pleasantly happy, and we'll keep them busy. There'll be plenty for them to do.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much, buddy, for taking some time with me. I wish you the best of luck. I can't wait to see all the photos and the videos and the dollar amounts that come out from this thing. And I think it's so cool that you're going to be able to help out a family, obviously in a time of need, for sure, and also anything else possibly to the Autism Foundation. So congrats to you guys already for all the success you've had in building this thing up, and good luck to you this weekend.
All right, we appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Okay, I have a special guest this week. How many times am I going to push that button? Thank you so much, buddy, for taking some time there. How cool does this event sound? I mean, you got 5 different hosting chapters of BV. You've got other members from other chapters coming in for this event, on top of which you're hosting it at a Harley-Davidson dealership. You have food trucks. You have other beard clubs that are going to be showing up. You're doing it for an incredibly, incredibly sincere and meaningful situation to where the money's going to. I think that changes things, really. I mean, obviously, it just puts a different heart on things. I think you were initially when you created this event, these guys were planning on the money going towards this family, towards helping to provide a healthier life, and now that everything has spun on its head, and now she's passed away, it means something different. It means something different. So plus, I mean, aside from all of that we just talked about, you've got a chair with flames. I mean, to take pictures with. Be careful. Be careful in that. I noticed as the comments section was flying along while that was going on, we had, let's see if I can find the mouse here. One of our guys was chiming in. Brian Dahlstrom said, "Beards and fire." Yeah, never good bedfellows for sure. But hopefully the flames spurt out of there in such a way that it's not going to damage the beards and nobody's going to be catching the beards on fire. But aside from all that stuff, then you heard him say he's a big tease, buddy is big tease. And I mean, some really incredible stuff. Now, hey, I tried to push the button and make these images that he shared with me come up during the portion of the interview when he was talking about it. And for some reason, I couldn't get them up. So let's see if they pop up now. I think I have to go to the... Okay, I have a special guest this week. Look at this. Too many buttons. I think I can go to this screen first, and maybe they'll pop up now. There it is. All right. So look at these things as they're covering my face. I'm going to try and bring these over here to the side and here and blow them up a little bit. They have these custom engraved knives. First place, second place, third place with the BEARD-A-NOOGA logo on it. I mean, I've received some cool plaques in my day, but to receive an engraved knife, I mean, come on, pretty amazing. And hey, let's just show you this guy. If you want to, and you're worthy of best in show, look at this thing. Let's blow this thing up too. Wow. I mean, a Damascus. He said it's a Damascus axe, custom made. Has the sheath in it, the protective sheath on it too, but custom made, engraved with best in show and the BEARD-A-NOOGA logo on it. Hey, Ed said in the comments earlier that the free beer part of it. We didn't even mention that again. Free beer. But the free beer part, he said, he mentioned in the comment section, if you're watching, he said the bar has been set. A new bar has been set. But I mean, look at these trophies, man. I think this is a different bar being set altogether too. So very, very cool stuff. So wish you guys best of luck. I know it's going to go off really well. It looks like you have great weather. You got a great location. There's nothing standing in your way, guys, of making a ton of money and doing a lot of really good stuff this weekend. So really excited to hear that, and can't wait to see photos. And hopefully nobody's going to get crazy trying to hop on a nice bike in the free beer area for sure. So be careful about that. All right, guys. Hey, it's almost that time. It's almost that time for me to share with you the goodness that is the Bearded Villains Northern Indiana 2023 concert T-shirt that we developed. We call it, it's the Ezra Crow World Tour T-shirt. Now, just to give you guys a little bit, if you didn't know, and I've some people are aware of this. This is going to be the second version of this. Just give you a little background on why we do this and the purpose behind it. And as I'm looking at my TikTok clock here, on the meter here, I can see that tonight's show is going to be running a little bit early. We're going to get you guys out of here a little early tonight, so you can go about your business and go have some fun elsewhere tonight. But the idea of this, we were brainstorming around early last year, actually, and we were trying to think of a unique thing that we could do merch wise with a shirt. And we you know, we were, those of us sitting around talking, having this conversation, we're talking about how much we loved, you know, when growing up back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I'm talking about the day of the 80s, early 90s, late 70s, that time period where concert t-shirts were all the rage. And I know sometimes you go, sometimes, you know, you may go to a concert now and you get a concert t-shirt, but it was a different time. It was just different back then. You'd go to a concert and you could walk out of there with 1 or 2 t-shirts for the price that you get like a half a t-shirt now. It's just, the merch game is crazy. And I don't know if the reason, it's been a while since I've even thought about buying a actual concert t-shirt at a concert, because the last time I did, I looked and it was like, it was so crazy priced. And the only, I mean, obviously inflation and times change, and obviously you're not going to be paying 1981 prices for a shirt at a concert, that, you know, because the concert is a couple $100s in some of these artists' case. And when they were performing back in the 1980s, it was, you know, $26.50 for a show or $37.50 for a show. And now you're paying 3 times that at least. So I know times change, but I don't know if it's because they're making less money with the streaming things that go on and they're not actually selling the actual tangible physical albums that they used to once sell. I'm not sure what it is, but obviously they're making some money on the merch end of things too, because I know the last time I went someplace and I was looking at a concert t-shirt, it was shooting around $50 or a little bit higher than that for just one t-shirt. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. But my absolute favorite guy, I got to run down this memory lane real quick. My absolute favorite concert t-shirt I ever had. Oh, it was so awesome. And I wish I kept it for years and years and years, all the way through college. And then suddenly around college time, it just disappeared on me. And it was a concert t-shirt from 1987, 88 time frame. And I'm talking Def Leppard, and I'm talking the Hysteria tour. And back then, you remember all the videos were the rage, the MTV videos. They did the top 10 countdown at 5 o'clock, and all the videos, music videos all over the place, right? Well, if you remember the Pour Some Sugar on Me video from Def Leppard, Joe Elliott was wearing a certain white t-shirt that he actually had cut up with his cut up jeans, as the style of the time, I guess. But it was a rendition of a comic strip with Joe Elliott being the main part of the comic strip, and it was used for, it was part of the thematic quality for the video for Women, which was another song on that album. But it was a really cool t-shirt. If you go back and watch it, you'll see an awesome t-shirt. And I bought that at the concert, and I remember it was only like $20. It was like, and that seemed like, you know, that didn't seem like it was too bad at the time, but I loved that shirt. I babied that shirt, and I'm not one to wear white shirts. I never did like to wear the white shirts just because I felt like I was always getting them dirty, but that was my favorite concert t-shirt. Hey, let's have a little bit of fun. Those of you in the comments section here live, if you've ever bought a concert t-shirt and you have a favorite concert t-shirt that you got at an actual concert, not after the fact, not online, not somewhere else, not in a store, but share it for us in the comments section. This will be fun. In the comments section, if you have a favorite t-shirt that you did get at an actual concert, I'm curious to see which ones were some of your favorite t-shirts that you had from back in the day. We're going to make this interactive. So anyway, I'll finish telling you the background behind this t-shirt idea as we wait for some people to populate some comments in here. So as we're sitting around talking about our love for old concert t-shirts, we were trying to think, we thought, you know what if we paid homage to, and I love saying that word, homage. What if we paid homage to some of our favorite albums, some of our favorite rock albums or metal albums from us growing up, from back in the day, as we would say. And if we put our kind of spin on it, and we utilized our chapter logos, variations of our chapter logos that we have for Bearded Villains Northern Indiana, and we utilized that, and we put our own kind of twisted BVNI logo spin on, you know, a version of one of our favorite classic rock albums or classic metal albums from back in the day. And so where that led us to was last year, with our very first Ezra Crow World Tour T-shirt. We paid homage to a Metallica album, and if you recall, it was a certain Metallica album that we were paying homage to that involved cemetery and headstones and some strings, and I think you know which one I'm talking about. But we kind of took a cool spin on it because we utilized Ezra, our scarecrow, and for those of you who don't know, his name is Ezra Crow. And we utilized Ezra as an overall encompassing, ominous face with hands reaching out over the cemetery. And he was the puppeteer over the top of the cemetery. And we thought that was a really cool spin on it, but we were able to use Ezra. We rolled it in, and we ended up using that similar imagery for a patch. And yeah, it was really cool. Also, use that same imagery. I just so happen to have the same imagery on this this ceramic poker chip that we made last year, still available on the website bvnorthernindiana.org, by the way. Two-sided coin, two-sided chip, has Ezra's face on the one side of it. It says Ezra Crow, and then we've got that same T-shirt cover album idea on the front from our first version of the Ezra Crow World Tour T-shirt. And so why do we call it a World Tour T-shirt? Well, because many of our guys love to travel. Many of our guys love to travel. And while I know that it's not possible for everybody, guys have work. Guys have home lives. It's expensive to travel to other chapters. So everybody's situation is different, and not everybody can travel. But we wanted to try to incorporate the fact that we do have a bunch of guys in our chapter that love to travel and are able to travel to other chapters to support them. And so we thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if we had a World Tour T-shirt that we would pay homage to a classic album cover on the front, and on the back, instead of concert cities where they've performed, we do cities. We put a list of the cities that members of our chapter have been to over the course of this last year, over the course, in this case, of 2023. So if members of our chapter have been someplace representing our chapter and Ezra Crow in 2023, we put them in there. We don't put the name of the event because that changes year to year. But instead, we like to actually name the city of the event that we're going to or that we've been to. So this year, like last year, we've had a bunch of guys that have traveled all over the place. I was able to actually travel over to England earlier this year. We had a few of our guys go up to Canada again this year. And so this year, it's truly a World Tour T-shirt because we can include overseas international cities. We got a little bit of, I caught a little bit of flack last year because somebody said that it shouldn't really be a World Tour T-shirt because it only included North America, and they should have just called North American Tour. But hey, don't get picky with me. Don't get picky with us either. We wanted to call it World Tour T-shirt, so that's what we do. Who's to say that we didn't go to Canada via an airplane halfway around the world, right? So it's the World Tour T-shirt. So in just a couple seconds, I will be revealing that, and I'm just way too excited about it. I know some of you guys will probably be like, oh, okay, big deal, no big deal. But hey, myself and I know a handful of our chapters or a handful of our brothers in our chapter are super excited about the release of this shirt and can't wait to wear it as often as we want to. So, in all over places, and people may wear them as jammies. People, who knows? All right, so let's chime in here. I'm going to share some of the suggestions. Ed says, "And Justice for All, Metallica was his favorite rock concert T-shirt." Yeah, that was a good shirt. That was a really good shirt. And they changed over the years as well. Concert tour to concert tour, they had a couple variations out, and I know that the original one was really awesome. Jacked Up Leatherworks says Hank Williams T-shirt. Hang on a second. I had to squish a spider that was crawling down out of the ceiling. Craziness. Hey, so yeah, Hank Williams. Dave Ramsey chiming in with Warrant Cherry Pie from the Poison Tour when he was like 12. Yeah, that had to be really good. Tim says, need an Era Iron Maiden shirt. Yeah, well, who knows? Got to try and find one. Oh, Tim says need an Ezra Iron Maiden shirt. He fixed himself there. I see what it is. Yeah. JD says, oh, he's referring to the event that BEARD-A-NOOGA is having. He says, sounds like the event of the year. ECM better bring the fire. Yeah, that's a challenge. It's a challenge laid out. Ed Deering says, Kiss 1979. $9 for his first concert. Yeah. Remember standing in those lines? You still had Ticketmaster, or you'd go to like a record store or something like that, and you'd still buy it through Ticketmaster. It was the Ticketmaster site, but they didn't have all those extra crap fees that they have now and all that stuff. You waited in line, you got this tangible ticket, you know, that said rain or shine. Usually it said rain or shine, and you know, no cameras or recorders and all that stuff that was printed on the ticket. Very, very cool stuff. Puzzle's trying to spoil stuff. North Indy Villains are top, or troopers, I think is what he was trying to say. Bad Company 1976, buddy. There you go. That had to be really cool too. All right, so here's the deal. We're just gonna kick into it now. Sorry, Donnie, I can't show the back first because we have a commercial. I made up a commercial for it. So we got to go with what we got to go with. But you know, hey, it's that time. It's that time. So we're going to pay homage to a really great rock album, and we are going to release this now. And I will just say that at the end of this commercial, I will be pushing live on the merch store, so that at the end of this show, the concert tour T-shirt, the World Tour shirt will be available online to purchase starting tonight. Tim chimes in real quick. Kiss and Poison at Polaris in 2002. Oh yeah. All right. So hey, without further ado, guys, would you like to see the 2023 Ezra Crow World Tour T-shirts? Okay. Man, that was so fun to watch. I was having some fun playing around with that this afternoon, and we've been playing around with this imagery with it, going back and forth. I got to give a big shout out to the guys in the merch committee. We had a bunch of guys that were just head over heels about this design and giving some input on it. Also have to give a big shout out to Mr. Longman over there in England. He was the originator of he helped us create the first versions of Ezra and our chapter logos. So when we had the idea, when it was decided upon to finally go with this album cover, I reached out to him, and he started off with the rough sketches and came up with the final version, and back and forth. And so big shout out to Longman also for this thing. And so this this shirt will be now available online for starting out at $27. And of course, the super big sizes you get up to 5XL. It's a little bit more money, but those are not a pre-order. They are purchasable right now. You buy them, and they will print them and ship them to you, and you'll have them within about a week, as it seems like. So available in 3 different colors. So man, I'm excited. I'm excited to get this thing in and share this little commercial with everybody else out in the world. So guys, thank you guys so much for being here. It's been a success streaming off from YouTube, but also to Facebook again tonight. So I'm really excited about that. We'll see if things go off and people continue to watch over there. But hey, you know what? You know what happens? That's going to wrap it up. Episode 190 is in the books, guys. I want to challenge you guys, as I always do every week, to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Most important words I say every week, guys. Please remember them well. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. Well, guys, hey, that's it for night. It's a night. Have a great night. Have a great weekend up ahead. Next week, I'll see you back here for episode 191. Until then, take care. Stay safe.
Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Part of a villain, bro. Lights, camera, action.